This should be an incredible matchup. I mean, both men have extensive offensive repertoires, lasting endurance, and an insatiable appetite to be number one.
Harsh impact. Nailed it. Ooh, what impact. This might be it. Oh, my. Oh, what impact. Harsh impact. Military press. Ooh.
We talk about how important stipulations are in a steel cage match. If superstars sign a contract where the only way to win is escape the cage and have both your feet touch the floor, the competitors must have a plan. Especially since you have to be comfortable trying to escape through the cage door as you do climbing over the top of the cage and vice versa.
There it is, it's locked in. Smart maneuver. Beautiful technique. What a stomp. Good grief. Corey, you touched on something moments ago that's so important for the combatants in a steel cage match to remember. A superstar must be able to think offensively to figure out how they're going to escape the cage. They must think defensively at the same time so they can prevent their opponent from getting out of the cage first and winning the match.
Well, a superstar must become comfortable with escaping the cage by both exiting the cage door and by climbing over the top of the cage. They must also be aware of their attributes and what's best for them. Let's just say if you're a giant like The Big Show, The Undertaker, Kane, or even Braun Strowman, it's preferred to exit through the cage door.
He goes for the cover. There's the kick out by Brock Lesnar. Too early in the match to end it. Bobby Lashley has a work ethic that is second to none, and it's easy to see where he learned that. He's the son of a drill sergeant and spent time in the Army himself.
Michael touched on Lashley's military background, and Sami Zayn should have done that research too. Instead, he questioned Lashley's service to his country, which, guys, was a pretty bad move for Zayn.
Yeah, it inspired a rage in Lashley we haven't seen before, and the Dominator beat Zayn so bad it put the former NXT champion on the shelf for nearly a year.
Nailed it.
You gotta believe this one's over.
Boom! How could Brock Lesnar just dig deeper right now and find his way out of this one? And at this point, you have to wonder if he can recover from this.
Right in the mouth, relentless.
The steel cage is a massive enclosure that stands 15 feet in height. For almost 35 years, a select group of high flyers have taken their aerial assaults to greater heights. And when I say that, I mean superstars climb to the top of the steel cage, the real high-rent district, and dive off onto their opponent. And that all started with one man in October of 1983, Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
To your point earlier, Byron, we've definitely seen some unbelievable attacks be launched from the top of the steel cage. And you mentioned the most iconic, the steel cage match for the Intercontinental Championship that saw Jimmy Superfly Snuka clash against bitter rival, the magnificent Morocco.
There's no denying that Superfly set the bar. You look over the years to people like Jeff and Matt Hardy, Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, and Chris Jericho. They continued to push the envelope and executed unbelievable attacks from the top of the cage. And watch Rikishi take flight off the top of the steel cage.
Wow, nobody controls the pace of a match quite like this guy.
There's the pin. Can his opponent kick out? Digging deep for a kick out.
He just powered out there, Cole.
Oh boy, he is rolling. The best way to describe combatants clashing inside a steel cage is its battle of attrition. Sometimes a superstar is left with no choice but to fight fire with fire and do whatever they need to do in order to win the match. And sometimes it comes down to a superstar doing whatever they need to do in order to survive.
This could end it in a hurry. Great one-on-one action here tonight. It doesn't get
nasty impact. He might have just ended this.
Brock Lesnar's just getting overwhelmed.
Byron, you touched on this earlier, but it's so important for a superstar to accept that there's nowhere to run and nowhere to hide in a steel cage match. That the conflict will be resolved within the 15-foot-high steel walls that surround the ring. And that losing a cage match can mean much more than a mark in the loss column. For some, it has meant the end of their career.
It's difficult to describe the damage that can be done to a superstar who competes in a steel cage match. We see the physical harm, but we don't see the psychological effects from being inside the cage. Make no mistake about it, Michael. The steel cage truly represents survival of the fittest. Oof!
Well, you know that Bobby Lashley has impressive skills once the bell rings, but he's had to prove himself in some strange new ways as of late.
Michael, you must mean the time Sami Zayn made the Dominator run and obstacle course? Or are you referring to Jinder Mahal's yoga session?
I'll tell you, the cage has absolutely beaten down these superstars.
I'll tell you what, this is one they'll be talking about tomorrow at work or school, that's for sure.